This movie might be my favorite Spider-Man movie ever. I know that's crazy for me to say. I know that's crazy for you to hear, but this might could be this might over like for me it's Spider-Man 2, but this might overlap that in a crazy way. And I can't wait to get into it for you guys. But welcome to Earth 2, where superheroes exist and comic book talk is the norm. It is your boy Mo Crosby, and I am about to go into Spider-Man Nowhere Home. Sit back, relax, and as always, welcome to the planet.
Ever since I got bit by that spider, I've only had 1 week where my life has felt normal. That was when you found out.
When you botched that spell where you wanted everyone to forget that Peter Parker's Spider-Man, we started getting some visitors. From every universe.
Hello, Peter. You're not Peter Parker.
I'm sorry, what was your name again?
Dr. Otto Octavius.
Wait, no, seriously, what's your actual name?
There are others out there. We need to send them back. So, Scooby-Doo this crap.
You know, all this is kind of your mess. I know a couple of magic words myself, starting with the word please.
Please, Scooby-Doo this crap.
You're flying out into the darkness to fight ghosts.
What do you mean?
They all die fighting Spider-Man. It's their fate. I'm sorry, kid.
Yeah, me too.
Don't.
Look, there has to be another way.
There isn't. They're a danger to our universe.
You're not gonna take this away from me. Peter, you're struggling to have everything you want while the world tries to make you choose.
This is all my fault. I can't save everyone. What's happening?
They're starting to come through, and I can't stop them.
December 17th, exclusively in movie theaters. Tickets on sale November 29th. Spider Monday.
Yeah, that trailer is awesome, and it's great that I started the review with that trailer. But honestly, as I said earlier, this might be my best Spider-Man movie, and I'm gonna get into a couple things. So, the if you're looking at this is a spoiler-free review, by the way. So there's not gonna be any spoilers if you're looking at the header, or if you're listening to this on the podcast. There's not gonna be any spoilers. So trust and believe. I'm gonna go into this spoiler-free. And I'd seen this movie a couple days ago, and I tried my best to sit down and think of how I wanted to go about this, and it took me a while. And I said, you know what? I'll wait till it comes out so people can see it, and then I can have a conversation with those people. But again, for the people who haven't seen it yet, who are going to see it tonight, tomorrow, and this weekend, let's get into Spider-Man No Way Home. And for you guys, I'm gonna obviously, again, no spoilers. We can come back when the rest of Earth 2 has seen this, and then we can go into spoilers for you. All right. So Spider-Man No Way Home opens literally where Spider-Man Far From Home. I'll say this real quick. All the homes at the end of these on these movies kind of like trip me up a little bit, so I might get tripped up. Spider-Man No Way Home picks up where Spider-Man Far From Home ends. where Mysterio reveals Peter Parker's identity, calls him Spider-Man, says he killed him. Now a lot of hijinks ensue at this point, and then where Peter goes up to you've seen the trailer. Peter goes up to Doctor Strange and says, "Hey, help me." The reason Peter goes up to Doctor Strange is because of his friends, his girlfriend, his aunt. His friends are getting into the mix of things, and he doesn't like that. So obviously, he goes there to help. You can ascertain from the trailers yourself. Goes, asks for help, and then the movie kicks in. So the first about what I say 40 minutes of this movie is the lull. So I will say one thing: this movie is fun. It's entertaining. The story is whatever. So if you watched Endgame and you loved Endgame and you said to yourself, "Man, I don't even care what the story of Endgame is, but I just love it because of what it did for me." This is the Endgame of Spider-Man movies in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And I'm not necessarily saying in the sense of what Endgame did to the greater Marvel Cinematic Universe. I'm saying in the sense of, like just the culminating movie for Spider-Man. This is it in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. He goes to Doctor Strange, asks for help. Things happen. The spell gets corrupted. Villains from Spider-Man 1, Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man 3, Amazing Spider-Man 1, and Amazing Spider-Man 2 come through, and that is who he has to deal with. Where he and Doctor Strange are kind of wrestling or fighting is because, and this is why I said the story just, the story is whatever the story is, but it's the story opens up enough for you to enjoy the movie. So the story is not the strongest part of this movie. I'll go ahead and say that right now. The story is not the strongest part of this movie. Some beats of the story are really strong. Some beats of the story work and are strong, but as a whole, the story falls apart. Like halfway through it and towards the end. But it's not you don't. It doesn't. The movie doesn't bank on the story to carry you through it. It banks on the characters and it banks on Peter Parker to carry you through it. There's a reason I said that, and I can't spoil it, so I'm just gonna say the movie banks on Peter Parker to carry you through. Um, Aunt May is in this, and she plays a conscience, like she plays the moral compass for Spider Man. Peter Parker, she plays that. Um, Doctor Strange is phenomenal. If you've liked Doctor Strange after his movie or through his movie, if you've liked Benedict Cumberbatch's Doctor Strange, especially in Infinity War and Endgame, where they meet and they have banter, that banter continues through this movie. Benedict and Tom Holland are really good. Like, I'm not gonna say RDJ and um RDJ good, but they're up there. Like I feel like they're better because in Infinity War, to me, their banter was one of the better parts of that ship scene and could have been one of the better parts of the planet scene. So they have banter back and forth, and it's amazing. And so okay, let me calm down because I feel like I'm rushing through it. Let's talk about the characters. Peter Parker. I feel like there are people who have said this Peter Parker feels a little young, feels a little childish because you've been introduced to, I'm not going to say adults, I'm just going to say more mature Peter Parkers, even in high school, but they're just a little more mature and they deal with a little more mature themes. Even though this Peter Parker has dealt with life and death, been to space and everything, there are still people that say, oh, Far From Home, Homecoming, feel a little childish, a little kiddie. But no, right now in this movie, Peter Parker is grown, senior year of high school, but he is grown. He deals with adult themes. He deals with adult consequences and adult actions and adult thoughts. There might be a little bit of high school left because again, it's a senior year of high school, but this is a darker Spider-Man movie. It's more mature. If that's for those people, so that's I'm answering that question for those people. Now, for people that have said this Peter Parker might not be the best, that is a strong debate for when the spoiler review comes. um for those people that have said, this Peter Parker feels more like Into the Spider-Verse, that is another debate that we can talk about, but I think I could give a little bit here. In this movie, he feels very Peter Parker. I'll say that much. He feels very Peter Parker. There's almost no Miles, like because there was the comparison in when Homecoming came out that he felt a little Miles, but I didn't hear that necessarily in Far From Home. So maybe it died. But again, for those people, this is Peter Parker. Like this is the Peter Parker that we knew from the '90s cartoon. Even I wouldn't even go that far to say that. Um, J. Jonah Jameson plays like this almost right wing, very no, he I think he takes his J.J. Jameson from from the Tobey Maguire movies. He takes it up a notch. Like he literally delivers a lot here. He's not on screen a lot, but when he is and when he speaks and when he's talking, when he's giving you J. Jonah Jameson, you really jump back to that point for J. Jonah Jameson. Happy is here. Um, like I said, Aunt May plays like a very moral compass type character. We meet Feast, or we get to Feast. You know, the if you've played the Spider-Man games, the little the little homeless shelter in those games, we come here in this. We Let me see. So MJ, she kind of goes back to who she was from Homecoming. Ned is as Ned as you can expect, with a lot of exciting things happening to Ned. So most of the side characters aren't just side characters; they have things going on. I'm gonna go into the movie a little bit with that. Most of the side characters have a lot going on, especially Ned, especially MJ. Listen, I want to talk about it so bad, but I really, really can't. Um, Aunt May has stuff to do. Doctor Strange is not okay. So I will say this, and it's not necessarily a spoiler. Doctor Strange is not necessarily a main character in this movie. If you watch Homecoming and if you watch Far From Home, the MCU connecting characters are not even that big of a deal in the movie. Even would I say Tony Stark in in Homecoming? I don't know, maybe, but yeah, Doctor Strange is a side character in this movie. Wong is a side character in this movie, and they do interesting things. They have lines in here and there, but they're not. A lot of this movie is really about Peter Parker. So now let's get into this. Some other story that I can tell you. A lot of this movie is Peter Parker. He has to make decisions. He has to decide on whether like what being Spider-Man means to him. Spider-Man 2. Oh, was it Spider-Man 2 or Spider-Man 3 where Peter goes, I don't want to be Spider-Man anymore, and he finally figures out what Spider-Man means to him. Peter Parker goes through that metamorphosis here. John Watts does really great to direct his Spider-Man, his Peter Parker, and make him very um um very much grow in this movie. There's a lot of growth in this movie, and Peter Parker goes through it really quick, and he makes decisions at the end of the movie that man, I honestly in home. So this is where you can see the growth. Honestly, the decisions he makes at the end of this movie, I did not think this Spider-Man when I first got introduced to him in Homecoming would be able to make those decisions, but he makes a lot of them, and he makes them great in this movie. Um, so I've talked about Spider-Man, and what the story does for him, and really, it's a Spider-Man movie. The next thing I want to really, really touch on really quick is the fact that this movie feels the least MCU in all of the in Spider-Man, right? In the Marvel Spider-Man movies. This movie feels the least MCU. Even with Doctor Strange in it, even with Happy, even with Wong in it, it's very contained. It's almost like it's a contained movie to Spider-Man. Like the MCU is barely touched on, and it's amazing that they were able to tell a story in the MCU and make it very not MCU, because again, Homecoming, the entire thing revolves around Iron Man. Far From Home, the entire thing revolves around Iron Man. And our Marvel Cinematic Movie characters are very, you know, prevalent in those movies, and they do big things in those movies. In this movie, nothing. It's like Doctor Strange is here and then he's gone, and then he's here and then he's gone. And it feels that way. It feels like they wanted to make a Spider-Man movie with just Spider-Man. Yes, his amazing friends, but they wanted to make it really, really about Spider-Man. And I believe they did that. So that's one of the things I will give them like great, great credit for, is that for those of you who felt that you've never gotten a Spider-Man movie in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, this is a Spider-Man movie, like 100% all Spider-Man, everything Spider-Man, no side characters that really, really jump in the screen. and try to and still the scene. Like, that doesn't happen a lot in this movie. You really get Spider-Man, and it's amazing. And I think it's something that we should really applaud Sony for and Disney for. I also think, and Marvel for. I'm sorry. I'm not sure. I don't really remember, but I don't think we got fanfare in this movie. I do not think we got Marvel fanfare in this movie. And for those of you who know what Marvel fanfare is, that is the comic strip, with dun 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 that goes through these movies. And I don't believe we got that in this movie. But I am also really grateful that the scene, no, I'm not gonna say this. I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it. So I'm trying to talk about this movie and not spoil. You know what? I think I've said enough. I think I've said enough because Spider-Man, like I said, but the last thing I'll say is really entertaining movie. There's not a lot of dull moments in this movie. There's not a lot of moments that you say, "Ugh, can I get out of here?" No, there's no. It the intensity comes on, the action comes on, the movie starts, and you're getting all of it from jump. This movie was fun. It was 100. It was really fun. It was really fun. I had a good time watching this movie. I know that angers some people, but this movie was really fun. I liked it, but like I said, there are some drawbacks because again, the story just doesn't. So my problem with Endgame was the story didn't. The story made its set of rules and it broke it. Same with this movie, but again, those things are petty. That's not a big reason. If I was to grade Spider-Man No Way Home, it is definitely a 4.5 out of 5. This is the highest Marvel I feel like I've given a Marvel outside of Endgame was beautiful to me. Captain America, The Winter Soldier was beautiful. Those movies. I even liked Black Widow when people didn't. But yeah, Spider-Man No Way Home, definitely a 4.5 out of 5. Um See it this weekend, man. See it. Don't let anyone spoil it for you. Make sure that you close your eyes and close your ears. Don't even watch any trailers because I promise you nothing that happens in trailers happens in the movie. Marvel has showed us that. They showed us that in Infinity War with the Hulk running, and then boom, he disappears and in the actual movie. So again, whatever theory you think, take it out your mind. Don't go in the movies with that. Whatever you think you might know, whatever you think you do know, don't, man, forget all of it. Spider-Man No Way Home might be my favorite Spider-Man movie. I have to think on that. Probably take the weekend and think on it, but right now, right now, it might be my favorite Spider-Man movie, even better than Spider-Man 2. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening on the podcast. This has been your boy Mo Crosby dropping his review from Spider-Man No Way Home. Don't forget to like and follow. Subscribe to the channel. Give me a shout on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, Mo Crosby. Make sure you are following Earth 2 because we're going to be doing a lot in the coming week before this, before the Matrix comes out. The Kingsman is another movie that we're interested in. This holiday movie schedule, chef's kiss. But again, thank you for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.
Ever since I got bit by that spider, I've only had 1 week where my life has felt normal. That was when you found out.
When you botched that spell where you wanted everyone to forget the Peter Parker Spider-Man, we started getting some visitors. From every universe.
Hello, Peter. You're not Peter Parker.
I'm sorry, what was your name again?
Dr. Otto Octavius.
Wait, no, seriously, what's your actual name?
There are others out there. We need to send them back. So, Scooby-Doo this crap.
All this is kind of your mess. I know a couple of magic words myself, starting with the word please.
Please, Scooby-Doo this crap.
You're flying out into the darkness to fight ghosts.
What do you mean?
They all die fighting Spider-Man. It's their fate. I'm sorry, kid.
Yeah, me too.
Don't.
Look, there has to be another way.
There isn't. They're a danger to our universe.
You're not gonna take this away from me.
Peter, you're struggling to have everything you want while the world tries to make you choose.
This is all my fault. I can't save everyone.